Hi everybody, hope you've had a really good week. I've come out to this absolutely amazing field today to do the talk because our theme is all about a story that Jesus told about a sower, a farmer who went out and sowed seeds. So I've got some seed here to show you, and it's about a farmer who would have gone out into his field or her field and sowed lots of seed, and then Jesus tells the story of how those different seeds will fall on different ground. Some might fall onto rocky ground and not really start to grow. Some might get gobbled up by birds. Some will get choked out by weeds growing with them. And others will grow up really, really strong with great roots and will produce a really good harvest. And just look at this field, just look at how much has grown from seed there. Now the story we find in Matthew chapter 13, and I'm going to read it to you. It's from verses 1 to 9. Later that day, Jesus left the house and sat beside the lake. A large crowd soon gathered around him, so he got into a boat. Then he sat there and taught as the people stood on the shore. He told many stories in the form of parables, such as this one. Listen, a farmer went out to plant some seeds. As he scattered them across his field, some seeds fell on a footpath, and the birds came and ate them. Other seeds fell on shallow soil with underlying rock. The seeds sprouted quickly because the soil was shallow. But the plants soon wilted under the hot sun, and since they didn't have deep roots, they died. Other seeds fell among thorns that grew up and choked out the tender plants. Still, other seeds fell on fertile soil, and they produced a crop that was 60 and even 100 times as much as had been planted. Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand. And you know, that's what Jesus did a lot of the time through his teaching. He tells stories. He tells stories that people would understand. People would have totally got that story, that the farmer had gone out and planted and sowed the seeds, and different things had happened with those seeds. But when Jesus told a parable, a story, it always had a meaning about God's kingdom and God's ways. And so later on in Matthew chapter 13, verses 18 to 23, Jesus explains what that story means, what it's all about in terms of God's kingdom. And I'd love it if you as a family, you read that explanation from Jesus together and you talk about what Jesus meant. It's all about comparing it to what happens when people hear about Jesus and hear about God's word and God's ways. And it's all about the different things that happen in people's lives from hearing about Jesus. Some will really straight away believe in Jesus, and their roots will go down deep and they'll grow in their faith in him and their love for him, and that's brilliant. And they go on and produce a really big harvest and tell other people about Jesus, and that's what God really wants for us. Obviously sometimes it doesn't happen like that, and in that explanation from Jesus it explains all of that, about how sometimes people hear about Jesus and it's like the birds come and gobble it up like the seed, and people don't really grow in their faith. So as you read that together, perhaps really explore what Jesus was saying there and think about what you're like when you hear about Jesus. What's it like for you? Do you really hear about Jesus and want to grow and want to live for him? Do you sometimes feel like you're growing up with like the weeds growing up with you, and you're being sort of not growing really well in your faith? Have a talk about that and pray for each other as well. Pray that you will be like this crop, where it grows strong and the roots go down deep and there's a great harvest. There's another really good thing to watch today if you want to. It's going to be on the screen. We couldn't put it as part of this video because it's already produced, and it's produced by Saddleback Kids, and it's called The Farmer and the Seed. And if you find that on YouTube, you'll really enjoy it. It's a good cartoon, and it's sort of the style of cartoons that we used at Vibes last year. So hopefully you'll really enjoy that, and it tells the story really well and with lots of visual things which I can't do on my videoing. But hope you've got something from this story, and it'll give you a chance to talk and pray as a family about what Jesus was saying in this parable. It's an amazing parable when you really dig deep into it. And I pray for you and for me that we are like the seed that falls onto good soil, that our hearts and our minds will be like that good soil, so that we can grow and grow with Jesus, that we love him more, that we follow him more, and that we share his love with other people around us. Have a really good day, everybody, and I'll see you very soon. Bye. God bless.